Today I'm interviewing Lauren Small. She's the owner of Early Education Business Consultant. This is a program that helps preschool directors and in-home day center directors to partner with leaders in the community to gain access to information and resources that they normally wouldn't have. Lauren noticed the need that people who take on this role usually have huge hearts but little business savvy. And so she's partnered with these community leaders to change that. It's really improved a lot of their enrollment and their profitability. She's been an entrepreneur educator for over 25 years, and she's also a highly sought after speaker for webinars, conferences, workshops, and the like. It is such a treasure to have her here today. You may hear a little background noise, and that's because we are in Norfolk. She actually agreed to meet with me right before she has to hop on a plane, so this is truly a treat. Lauren, if you had to describe what you do in 3 sentences or less, how would you do that?
Whenever I do a presentation, I kind of joke and I say, well, it's kind of like I'm a therapist for directors and owners of early childhood programs.
I can see that very much. You've been my therapist.
But my passion is coaching and mentoring and teaching leaders in early childhood, really with the goal of having strong outcomes for children.
So you've been an entrepreneur educator for over 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
At what point in that process did you decide, you know what, I want to help people in early childhood?
About 10 years ago, when I was given an entrepreneurial project, so to speak, that was working with in the early childhood landscape, and I was hooked. I fell in love with the industry, and I saw where I was needed and the potential of working in this industry. So many directors and owners in early childhood have grown into their leadership role, and so the need for business training was just so needed and so appreciated.
Yeah.
I felt valued from the moment I stepped into this industry.
Now, I know one of your staple phrases, so to speak, is training the trainer. Why do you think that's so needed in this field?
I think it's kind of this idea of sustainability and where we continue to do the things in this industry that we need to do, not dependent on one person, not dependent on me, but that training others to coach and lead in all areas in this industry is how we create something sustainable that continues on.
What would you describe as one of the biggest obstacles that the directors you're working with have in trying to create that sustainability?
I think that a lot of them keep all their knowledge up here about how their businesses operate. And so one of the things that I try to teach is to really take that and put it down on paper in the idea of kind of a systems mindset where we're documenting really the important functions of the early childhood business so that it really, whether you're there or I'm there or a new person, it's business as usual, and the quality continues in the program so that children are consistently in a high quality environment, regardless of staffing changes or the turnover. Yeah. I know that's hard, but I've seen it work.
Yeah.
I've seen it work.
Now that putting systems into place, I know that's a big part of your business program that you have for the directors. What is another piece of your program, I guess, that you would say is your favorite, that you love teaching the directors about?
And I was going to say one more thing, too. I think teaching the directors the systems, it's getting loud. Teaching the directors this systems mindset, I think, reduces their stress level because then they can delegate more effectively. They have more order. They're not always like, I don't know if you've ever had that high heart rate because you feel like things are out of control.
Never.
And when you're taking care of children, you know, it's really important that they're safe and that it's a healthy environment. So that, to me, when I see a director able to reduce their stress level, and especially great directors that we don't want to lose in this industry, when I can help them to work kind of smarter, with more confidence as a leader, that gives me a lot of joy.
Is there another part that you would say is maybe most exciting for you, or do you think that that's what really drives you?
I mean, there's a lot of elements to the business model that I help people with,
Okay.
and I don't know. I love marketing. Marketing is one of my things that are just, it's fun. I'm a creative person, but I like helping centers reduce their employee turnover through looking at their like leadership and human resource practices. Our industry is wrought with really high turnover, and it's getting harder and harder for us to be competitive with our wages. So that requires really talented directors that can really look at their climate and how they engage their employees and how they really think about hiring and retaining staff.
They talk about, or were you about to say something else?
Yeah.
These talented, these talented directors, really quality directors. When you meet so many of these people, what are some of the characteristics that stand out to you when you meet someone? You're like, man, I'm really glad that this person is touching our children every day.
When I think about the characteristics of really successful directors, I think that it's somebody who can look bigger picture at the whole organization and kind of have a vision for what they want, and then has the kind of capacity and intelligence and integrity and kind of energy to implement that. And that's leadership. And you're taking a team to do that vision, and hopefully in the most positive, exciting way, because when staff and your team are excited about what they're doing, that just trickles down to the children into a really great environment.
Has there been a situation where you've had to help a director even with their leadership skills in that aspect?
Yes, I have. And I don't know if that's a weakness or a strength, to be kind of blunt sometimes. I mean, I try to do it with love and good intention, but I do feel a responsibility when I see something that's really hurting someone, whether it's a staff member or that director, you know. I feel a responsibility to share that with them, and it's just a perception, so they can take it for what it's worth.
Now, reading up on you, I saw that you've helped over 200 centers to increase their profitability by at least 20%. So what is that like for you whenever you find that time to sit back and think about the impact that your life's work has?
Well, that's a hard question, because I don't always have success with every center. So I always try to be upfront. That's kind of an average. And I think when we match the right knowledge with the right people that can implement that knowledge, it's magical. So I feel like my impact is providing knowledge in this special part of the business, which is the business model, and helping people move wherever they're at in their knowledge base. And that is exciting. That's really exciting. And I hope to continue being able to do that.
So as you've been doing this, what is one of the biggest lessons that you've learned?
I've learned, and I teach this, but you know how sometimes what you say you don't do? I have had to learn that I don't need to be involved in every little thing. That I too need to delegate, train the trainer, share my knowledge. I don't have to hold it all close. The more that we share and help one another in this industry, it just makes us all stronger. It makes our industry stronger. I've burned out like a lot of directors, and so I'm trying to be really careful and mindful about that, so that I can continue to be here to help and to do my job.
So what does your self-care kind of routine look like? What are some of your go-tos to get refreshed?
My go-tos are, okay, you want to hear?
Yes.
Okay. I have a morning routine of gratitude and prayer and thankfulness and meditation.
I love that.
I'm very active in yoga and Pilates. I belong to a yoga studio. I try to exercise every day. I try to make sure I always am touching and nurturing my family in some way. And my friends, I have a lot of good friends. And so I try to maintain the balance. When I need to burn and turn, I do it, but I also recognize I have to recharge. So I don't know. That's what I'm trying.
Right. That's all we can do. Now, is that something that you've had in place for a long time when you went in? Like, hey, these are my non-negotiables, or have you kind of had to learn to implement?
I had to learn. I had some struggles, and I've had to learn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last thing before we go, because I know you have to get on your flight, if you could go back and tell your 5-year-old self something, what would that be?
Oh, that's such a good question. I would tell my 5-year-old self that it's all going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
It's a good one.
Trust, yeah.
Can I have a hug?
Yes, you're awesome. Thank you. Great question. Thank you.
If you want to get in touch with Lauren to learn more about her program and how you can get involved, or you want her to come out and speak to your group, email her at lauren@earlyeducationbusiness.com. Now, if you want to get in touch with me because you know an early educator or someone who impacts the lives of children, email me at dobetteryoubetter@gmail.com. You can also reach out to me if you want me to come out and speak to your group about information and empowerment for the true power of self-care and how it will help them to be better educators. You can also follow me on Instagram at @the_Mrs_Lambert.